John, yeah, take it away. And if anyone has questions, we'll ask John at the, give him 15 minutes of clear talk, and then, start raising your hands, and we'll just, I think maybe just naturally move into questions when you're ready, John.
Yeah, let me go ahead and I'm going to try to share right now. Am I shared yet?
Yeah, you are.
Great. Let me pull up. I've got a little presentation, and thank God I only have 20 minutes. I do probably weekly webinars, and some of those go an hour, hour and a half with a lot of questions. So I'm thankful that it's not going to go that long today for you and for me. And I met Naomi when last April or May. You did an interview with Thomas Power, and who I'm connected with through BIP 100. And then I reached out, and Naomi redid my profile, and I've been somewhat remiss, but it's up and did a great job. But what I want to talk about today is the LinkedIn trends for 2022. And I'm going to throw in something that we've come up with some other friends of ours called the 7 Habits of Effective LinkedIn Networking and More. So again, just a little bit about me, and I won't spend but a minute on this. They call me, one of my nicknames is the old dog with new tricks, because this is my second career, and I found the internet 25 years ago and have been involved heavily, again, since January of '97 with the internet. Along the way, taught an MBA business program at Xavier in Cincinnati. I did write the first book on pay-per-click search engines in 2001. And through my consulting business, improved results, worked with, it's approaching 1,300 clients now in 85 niches in 7 countries. If you speak English, I can work with you. And then one of my pivot points during the shutdown, I don't honor it and call it the pandemic. I call it the shutdown. Is I started a LinkedIn SaaS business called Improve Together, which has worked out pretty well. And some of you may know Thomas and Penny Power there in the UK. And actually, I was their first US member in their group called BIP 100, but enough about that. But why this is important right now, and I think it's very, very important, is that much of the LinkedIn stuff that people have been talking about over the last 2-3 years is out of date. And if you're doing things that you were doing as recently as 6 months ago, it's probably out of date, because as Naomi said, LinkedIn is changing a lot of things. Major algorithm changes last September, and many other changes coming. And a big change was that LinkedIn has put a limit on invites. The only way to build a network is to invite people, really. And there are all types of programs out there, automated programs that were inviting 100 and 150 people per day. That's a good way to get shut down now. So there is a limit on the number of people you can invite. And the whole use of automated messaging tools. You can always tell when somebody's using an automated messaging tool when you connect with somebody, and within a millisecond or a second or two, you get a message. Nobody can type that fast. And it's not a good thing. In fact, LinkedIn is on a campaign to really shut down all automation on the platform. And then another thing is that more and more people are reporting and blocking people. Whenever I get one of those automated messages, I immediately disconnect from that person, and I will report them because they're misusing the platform, and you'll run into more and more of that as time goes on. Do it enough times, and again, you'll get warned and then potentially be shut down. On the one hand, we're all using LinkedIn. Those of us who are using LinkedIn are using it as a marketing vehicle. Ultimately, we sell. If you sell too hard on LinkedIn in the content, and Garrett, going back to something you were talking about, and you see this in your writing, if you sell too hard, people will disconnect. As I was mentioning earlier, I get these first messages, and I'm sure many of you do too. Let's schedule a call. Well, they don't, that person doesn't know what I do. They don't know who I am. It's not appropriate at that point in time. On the other hand, at the other end of the spectrum, if you never sell at all, they'll never know to do business with you. So there's a fine balance, I think, in the middle. And lastly, the whole point is the game has changed and will continue to change, because LinkedIn is, from the people we're talking with there, they are adamant about making it more valuable for everybody. So that's why this is all critical today as we begin 2022. And, is LinkedIn suitable for you? I don't know that, but if you're a coach or a consultant or any B2B service business and want to find more clients, the answer is yes. To me, it's the best tool out there. It's not the only tool by any means, but it is the best tool out there that I have found for my business and for others that works. If you're like me, because I did something bad. I was part of LinkedIn since 2005, and then used some automated systems to build my network from 1,500 to about 8,000 in about 10 months. And I had never spoken with any of them other than when I first connected, had no relationship with them. But if you've done like what I did, then yes, LinkedIn is suitable for you. Just you can change and go back and do things that you should be doing. I was talking with a prospect, a woman called me on Monday this week, and she said, I don't know if I can use LinkedIn or not. I used to use it, and I've been out of pocket for about 5 years. Now's the time. It's growing. It's still growing. It's 800 million and growing, and more people are using it. If you've neglected it, that's okay. It's easy to get started again. And if you want to grow your business, yes. To me, it's the last form of free advertising out there. So what LinkedIn is not, and I see this from my SaaS business, my LinkedIn SaaS business, I have new members that come in and they think it's microwave. I'm going to get instant results and things are going to happen within 30 days. And no, LinkedIn is about the long-term play. I've posted about this several times in the last several months, that you have to take a long-term view on LinkedIn and build relationships over time. And then it will work very well for you, or it can work very well for you. And it's also not about doing nothing and getting clients. It takes work, not a whole lot of work. I probably spend 3 hours a week, maybe 4, on all my LinkedIn activities, no more than that. And my business is growing. I'm continuing to get new inbound, not only connection requests, but people who want to talk. It's not about setting it and forgetting it. And I talk here about automation. Please do not use any automation tools. Please. You're just taking a risk, and it's just not the good way to go. And you face the possibility of LinkedIn coming after you. What I have found over the last 2 years since we started the business, so you're almost going on 1.5 years now, most people who attempt to use LinkedIn as a marketing vehicle do not show up consistently. LinkedIn's no different than anything else. It's all about consistency. I post 2 to 3 times every week through what we call our post parties. And I've done over 300 of those, or 200 of those in the last 1.5 years. And now I have a reputation and a presence online, but you have to be there. And it's not being there 7 days a week. And I'll talk about what we recommend in just a bit, but you have to show up and engage. I work with some folks up in Northern England called Beep2B, and this is theirs. I use it in all my teaching. I do a course every month. And the foundation of using LinkedIn effectively is what's called the BEEP method, which stands for build, engage, educate, and promote. You have to build a strong foundation, and that's building more connections, and then engaging with those connections. We'll talk a little bit about that. Engaging with those connections with valuable content, with valuable information, answering questions, and so on. Educating people through your posts. I see many posts that are quite frankly worthless. They suck, if I can be frank. And people are all about them as opposed to all about their audience. Lastly, you can promote. I have a promotional post that goes out once a month. Now, it's not over the top in your face promotion, but it's very, very obvious that I am promoting. So it's all about that. Naomi, I think you talked about it earlier, the know, like, and trust factor. You have a hard time selling to people, I have found over a number of years, if they don't know, like, and trust you. And I've got a book, and I'll just, if you'd like a copy, I'll send this. It's about a 60-page document that's called the BEAT method, and gets into some specifics. Just message me on LinkedIn with the BEAT method, and I'll be glad to get that to you. And of course, connect if we're not first-degree connections. I will make that specific request. And just message me, I'll be glad to get that to you. In terms of what's working now, these are 4 principles that I encourage everyone to do. And number 1 is to strategically grow your network with targeted prospects, not just anybody, but people you want to work with. I use LinkedIn Navigator. I don't know that anybody can effectively use LinkedIn without using LinkedIn Navigator, although you don't have to. But LinkedIn Navigator allows you to really narrow down who you want to use. And I'm not going to get into the details on that today, but I always encourage people, if you're looking to grow your business, to seriously consider LinkedIn Navigator. In fact, I can get you a 60 days free subscription to LinkedIn Navigator. It's about, what is it, Naomi, in the UK? 80, 85 or 90 a month?
64, I think.
64, okay. Well, which is about $90, and I think it's 85, but let me know if you'd like, if you aren't using Navigator, I'd be glad to get you a free link. I don't get anything out of it, but I can get that to you if you'd like. The second piece is to engage. That means have conversations. And you all have been to networking events where people don't engage. They just want to pass business cards. This is not that. I'm talking about engaging and building rapport with the people with whom you're connecting with, and by keeping in touch on a regular or somewhat regular basis. And we'll talk some specifics on that when I get into the 7 habits. Third is to consistently, and again, I say a minimum of once a week is my recommendation, consistently post insightful content, thoughtful leadership content to demonstrate your credibility and your authority. I'm recognized now. I've had people reach out to me and say, I want to talk to you because I've seen your posts and I've seen your comments and you seem to know what you're talking about. Over time, you'll get that same response. And the last one is to harvest your contacts. Get them off LinkedIn as fast as possible into your CRM system. I hope you all are using a CRM system for ongoing nurturing. And you can do that then through LinkedIn events or outreach to them directly. See, LinkedIn owns the contacts until you get them off LinkedIn. And once a month, I go in and every new contact, I pull them into my CRM. And I don't overwhelm them with email or anything like that, but I'm harvesting those leads from LinkedIn. I have a friend last year who had about 15,000 connections and LinkedIn shut him down and he lost them all. That's just something you don't want to risk. And you can go in on a regular basis and do that. Okay, in terms of the 7 habits of effective LinkedIn networking, y'all remember Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Habit number 1 is send up to 20 personalized invites to connect with people every day, people that you want to connect with, no more than 20. And by the way, you don't need a system to do this. You can do all this manually. And I say up to 20. If you only have time for 5, do 5. But personalized invites. When you invite somebody, put a personal, you have the ability to put a personalized message in with that invitation. When I do that, I probably get 70% of the people who I can reach out to who then connect with me. If you don't do it that way, if you don't send personalized invites, your numbers will probably go down to 15 to 20 to 30%. And that's a lot of work for not good response. Habit number 2, check your new connections daily. And I'm not going to get into how to do that today, but when you go in and look at your profile, you can see who has connected with you in the last period of time. And when you see you are connecting with people, send them a welcome message, just as you would do in a networking event. Hi, how are you? I've actually created a couple templates that I personalize. I go in and then personalize, but I want them to be genuine and authentic. Habit number 3, check your notifications. It's on the far right-hand side of your on your LinkedIn page. And when you see somebody has a birthday or somebody has a new job, send a personalized congratulations message. And again, I've got some examples I've developed over the last year and a half, 2 years that work fairly well. Everyone receives, my birthday was in December. I think I had over 300 birthday wishes. That was really cool to get that. And everyone likes to get a birthday card. And it's part of who you are as a human being. Habit number 4, go in and review who has viewed your profile. And if you're not connected, send an invitation request. And you can do that from your homepage or your home LinkedIn page. And it shows you who has viewed your profile in the last 90 days. I believe it's 90 days. Everyone who reviews my profile, I do this on a daily basis. And again, I have some templates that I work. I say, hey, thanks for looking at my profile, et cetera, et cetera. And then I send an invitation request if I think they're going to be somebody I want to be connected with. I don't connect with everybody. There are certain countries of people I just won't connect with. That's my own personal decision. But here's my point. The more connections you have, you then are connected basically with their first degree connections. You will expand your network through your first and second degree connections. It's immense what can happen. So the more connections you have, the more exposure you get on LinkedIn. And the 5th one, send check-in messages to connections that you've not been in touch with within 90 days. Now, if you're using Navigator, you can actually go in and do a search for people that your first degree connections with who you've not been in touch with in the last 90 days. And just checking in, just wanted to see how everything's going. You're not overtly selling, but you will be surprised if you do that consistently over time, how things will develop over time. You're just building the relationship. I liken it to this. There was a period in my life that I used to attend or used to go to singles bars. And I would never go into a singles bar and walk up to somebody of the opposite sex and say, hi, let's go to bed. And if I can be quite frank, no. Hi, what's your phone number? And that's the first step. Phone number, then maybe a coffee, then maybe a meal, and so on, if there was an interest in getting to know each other better. So it's the same way here. This is no different than the offline world. Check-in messages can help. Number 6, already mentioned this, but post interesting, personable, thought leadership content on your feed at least once a week. No more than once a day, by the way. And don't use any automation tools here. I know people that want to do this 7 days a week. That's fine. LinkedIn recommends no more than 4, but if you want to do 7, that's fine. The point is, as I mentioned earlier, to be consistent, get stuff out there that your target market might be interested in, and have a specific content. I actually have a content calendar that I've developed for myself. It lays out the next 90 days in a general sense of the subjects I want to cover in my posts. And habit number 7, engage with your network via meaningful comments and messages. When you post a post, or when you respond to somebody's post, don't say something, I call it weedy, like nice post, or that was great, but say something thoughtful. And the reason that's important is that those comments that you're commenting on other people's posts go to their whole network. I just had a new client that came about 3 months ago from France. I had no connection with this guy, but he saw some of the comments I'd made on other posts and reached out to me. He followed me, what we call a lurker. He didn't connect with me at all until he finally reached out and said, I'd like to have a conversation with you. That's what I mean when I say LinkedIn is the last form I'm aware of free advertising, where you can get your message out there in a very meaningful and thoughtful way. So those are the 7 habits. And there's really nothing. This is something you can all do manually. You don't have to use any automation for any of this stuff. There are tools you can use which make it a little bit easier. I do all 7, and I can only share that over the last year, and I'm not the leader of the pack by any means, but I just checked my numbers the other day. But through my posting, my regular posting, I've had over 310,000 views of my posts since April of 2020. And while views are nice, that's a fantasy metric. What's really more important is the engagement. I've had over 10,000 people comment and reach out to me in that time period. And they all haven't become clients by any means, don't need to, but it begins the process. And Naomi, I would be guilty if I didn't let you all know. I run a monthly free LinkedIn post and post exposure masterclass and workshop. This will be my 11th one. I did 10 last year, and I'm just bringing people up to speed. Some of this stuff will be on the one I'm doing in January, but it's just a little bit, getting into a little bit more depth and detail on what to post, how to post it, so on. I'm not saying to write down this URL right now, but that's the URL. It's a LinkedIn. You can go to LinkedIn and look under events and find that. And those are at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 to 10 UK time, which is the reason I record all sessions. Generally, 30 to 40% of my registrations are from the UK. So I record them and then we put them up. I put them up on our membership site. And so you can have access to those recordings and all the content. So I'd love to have you there, but that's that. But wait, there's more. I had to get a little direct response ad comment in there, so just to have a little fun with this morning. And Naomi, I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Do you want to post that link if you've got it? You can pop it in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, let me do that. That's a great idea.
Because I've attended that before, and it's a really great event, well worth attending, because so much is changing, and that's why we had you back since September. We've had you back again, and will again, just to keep it all up to date for us. So thank you so much.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you so much.
So I know I've got 3 questions, and I'm just going to unpin you from the spotlight so I can see everybody. Do you want to stop sharing your screen, John?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you.
And then we can see each other.
Stop share.
Yeah, go put ourselves into the grid view might be a good idea if everyone's on here. All right, so how many of you have got questions? So we're going to use the reactions inside of the Zoom to say if you've got a question. If you want to put your hand up, it will order you on my screen as to who put their hand up first. And then we can call on everybody. So one thing I wanted to ask you, John, just to kick us off, was you said about adding everybody to your CRM. Do you do this by downloading your spreadsheet and downloading your contacts and then adding them into your CRM? Or do you offer them something that they sign up for and that puts them on the CRM?
No, I download them right into my CRM. And then what I will do is send, and again, in B2B, even with GDPR, I can send an initial email to say, the reason I'm emailing you is that we are connected on LinkedIn. If you'd like some information, I'll make some type of offer to send them some free content.
Yeah, so then they click that and that authorizes you to keep them on the mailing list.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Excellent. All right, so I'll come back with actually, no, I'll just do the other one because I think everyone will be really interested in this. Do you often check your sales SSI, what's it stand for again?
Yes, a social selling index.
Yeah. Do you
yes, I check that about once a month. And social selling index is something that you can get through. I don't know if you have to have Navigator to get it or not.
No, you get it on the free one. So just put the link in the chat box for everyone. If you're logged into LinkedIn and you click on that, it will give you your score, and it's marked out of 4 different categories, and then it'll score you on those 4 categories. And I think that's a great way, isn't it, John, just to track where you're doing, how you're doing.
And I'll just tell you, 2 years ago, my social selling index was 35. That's not good, by the way. And today it's over 80. That's good.
That is good, yeah.
But it takes consistent effort to do that. And it covers, as Naomi said, 4 different areas.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I'll come back to my last question in a minute. So Aggie's got her hand raised. So Aggie, do you want to ask a question?
Yes, thank you, Naomi. So John, you've mentioned that you wouldn't recommend animations, to post animations on LinkedIn. What did you mean by that? I'm
sorry?
So yes, so you've mentioned that you wouldn't recommend using animations.
Correct.
In your sort of content. What did you mean by that?
Well, there are systems that are out there that you can pay for that will, Aggie, send out automated connection requests.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean, up to 100, 150 a day. And it's and LinkedIn is on the hunt for these kinds of folks. There are other automations. I know people who have used automation tools to post their posts. And I recommend those. Not that some automation is not good, because I mean, gosh, I'm an Infusionsoft certified partner, so I use automation a lot in my business and with our clients, but you just have to be very, very careful.
Okay.
Not that all automation is bad, I'm not saying that, but a lot of the systems that are out there are not good, can get you in trouble.
And John, have you come across a new thing called Expandy?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that? Do you feel that falls into the same category, because they're trying to get around it all with randomizing stuff?
Yeah, and again, it all gets down to, because I was on their big webinar last fall. It was a good webinar, I thought, and I'm just very careful about that kind of stuff. I was almost kicked off LinkedIn about 3 years ago, so maybe I'm a little more reticent than most people. And I've asked a lot of these people who reach out to me and say, well, can you guarantee that I will not be kicked off LinkedIn and pay me $5,000 or $10,000 if I am because of your program? And none of them say yes. They all say, no, of course not. That's something you just evaluate very, very, very carefully, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else got a question? That's a quiet group of people. How many people are posting regularly on LinkedIn? Okay, so that's 3 hands, 4 hands. Okay, and how many people are getting the results from LinkedIn that they would like? When? Cool. Does people know what the results they're actually after on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, Chris, you do. Tell us what you're up to on LinkedIn, Chris.
Say again.
No. So I use LinkedIn a lot for posting, because I post content on behalf of clients as well as myself. And I am a member of lots of groups that are relevant to the clients as well as myself. And I find that the groups are particularly good at kind of getting content shared, especially when it's good content and it's just, it's shareable. So I'm not promoting at all on LinkedIn. I'm not saying, hey, check me out. What I'm doing is just saying, have you read this? It's amazing. Or seen this, and that works really well. I've just been looking at my social selling index. I didn't realize that was there, and mine's 72.
Okay,
good. So I suppose that's all right, isn't it?
Has anyone else seen theirs? Anyone surprised by theirs? Mine used to be a lot higher. I used to have I think at one point 85, but it has dropped recently, so I must pick myself back up again.
Yeah, this is it.
Michael, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, John, you said don't use automation for putting up posts, but I've got within the company that I represent, I've got a special post that will send the post to LinkedIn or whoever I want to send it to, but it will be totally compliant. In other words, I know that because we're regulated to a certain extent, I know that certain words we can't use. So how would I go about not making that automated? Because I would need the picture and I need the words. How would I do that normally? If automate?
If I have some friends who are in the financial services industry here in the States, which is very regulated, as you may be aware. And quite frankly, they struggle. I mean, they really do struggle because the approval process for getting good content out is so long with the SEC and so on. But what I would say is if you can get the content that they're going to post that they already know is approved and post it yourself, that will give you more control.
I mean, it comes out as me, but it shows that it's done by a, how can I put it? It's done by a program. It's all part of the company, but it's done by a program to send it out.
Does it go on your LinkedIn profile?
Yes.
Well, if you've been doing it for a while and there haven't been any issues, then I probably wouldn't be too concerned about it.
Okay.
How often are they posting?
Normally once a day.
Yeah, no, you certainly wouldn't want to do it any more than once a day.
Okay.
That raises a flag to LinkedIn.
Okay.
And then as your posts are going out, just be sure. And then when people are liking.
Oh yeah, people are liking it, and I'm getting quite a few comments from it. My problem is I don't know how to get from the comment section. I don't know how to get interactive with them because it doesn't always show who it is, who the comments are from, or even the likes are from.
Well, on the comments, they have to, when people comment on your posts.
Comments, not so much, but the likes, I get more likes and comments and I can't tell who they are.
No, I quite frankly, I don't care about the likes. I really don't. I just care about the comments because that's where the interaction can begin.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And Naomi, I'm trying to find that link for the
this social selling score.
Yes, for the event.
Oh, your event. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that's cool. So sometimes, John, you might a really good post, but it doesn't get massive interaction or massive viewers. What's this policy on like taking it and posting it again, and LinkedIn going, that's not original content? Is there a time frame that you would wait?
Yeah, I have a spreadsheet of every post I've ever done on LinkedIn, and I, and along with that, and I'm kind of a nerd in this area, I guess, because of my engineering background. But I want to look at the views, the likes, and the comments, and I will go back 3 months. In fact, my post from January, from Wednesday, was very similar to the post I did January 1st of last year. I just copied it down and reworded it because it had a lot of action, a lot of interaction. And that's the way I do it. Don't feel too badly about doing that. They don't really get you on duplicate content. A lot of people say, well, people will remember I wrote that post 2 months ago or 3 months ago. And don't kid yourself. People don't remember what you write.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't.
And what are the best times of day at the moment to post?
Well, for me, it's I post post in 3 different options: early in the morning, late morning, and then early afternoon. And that's something I think you almost have to test. And I did over time to find at what time do I get the most interaction. Once you get into what we call the feed formula, and you get into the LinkedIn, what we call flywheel effect, your post, and that's one of the other changes LinkedIn has made in the last several months. If you get 15 likes and 15 comments within 2 hours after you post, LinkedIn will continue to feed that post to your network. So I'll get comments that are a week old from a post I did. They didn't see it right when I posted it. The important thing is to get the likes and the comments within 2 hours.
Yeah, and that's where your system helps in terms of like feeding it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you find that there's any negativity of when you're opening up a link to go to a particular post, that it's coming off of your system, that actually downgrades? Because that's almost like an automated coming in that way, isn't it?
Oh, no. That's all remote from LinkedIn. So there's not too much, there's no issue with that, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. And Aggie, you got your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to ask about posting videos, short videos on LinkedIn. John, how do you think, so in your view, do you think those are effective or more effective than writing short blogs or comments? What's your view on videos on LinkedIn?
Well, there are four different types of posts you can make. You can do short form post, and LinkedIn gives you, I think it's up to 3,000 words now. You can do longer form articles, which I never do because they don't get any views. You can do videos and polls. Polls are huge on LinkedIn right now. I typically will see a 10x increase in exposure on my polls. I do a poll probably once a month.
They're almost a little bit overdone now, aren't they? The whole feed can sometimes just be polls. So yeah, okay, cool. So, and there are some free tools, and it starts with a V, but I can't remember what the rest of it is. But you put in like a 2 to 3 minute video into it, and then it can put color on the top and the bottom, and it can put the subtitles in, and you can have your logo on it. So then that's how people are making those nice ones where you don't always have to put it on to listen to it. You can just read it, and that's really important as well, because not everyone can read.
Yeah, 85% of the people watch LinkedIn on their phones. Or I'm sorry, with the sound turned off. Oh, it's about 70% watch it on their phones. Yeah. So having the words is very important. Yeah.
And I think I often engage with the words and things, and you can pull that from, I've made a few, I haven't published them up for some reason, but there were some recordings that I had done where I was speaking on different bits of content, and I just watched those, picked out a 2-3 minute segment and put it into the system, and then designed around it. I need to do it, I need to finish it off, but yeah. Well, my plan was to do several and then pay for it and then download it and then cancel. I think that's what stopped me, because otherwise it's just another monthly thing you're paying out for. So I was preparing them, but that's also very good. So if you did a really good talk on a Zoom or anywhere, you said actually the way I just said that was really good, you could take that video and pop it in as well. And also sometimes you can do it without the video, just with a nice background where you can see the moving. The sound moving. Sometimes those work as well if you don't have the recording of you speaking as well. So yeah, there are quick and easy ways to do it, and just save up that bank of stuff, really. Save it. Robert, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, John, I'm in your improved program. It's been helpful for me because I don't know what to post, when I go out there and do stuff. So that's been, but my question to you was, now every now and then now I get like, it looks to me like it's an automated email from a LinkedIn staff or somebody that says, hey, what are your thoughts about the new year? Or what are your thoughts about that? Is it a good idea to respond to those and post to those, or should I ignore them?
I ignore them. I really don't care what they think about me. But yeah, I get those same things. I just ignore them. I don't have the time, Robert, to get into it.
Thanks.
I posted on something recently. It was a LinkedIn a Linda video, training video, and there was all these comments on it, and I joined in, and honestly the amount of people attacking me on the back of that, it was insane. And one thing I just thought, I'm not gonna it was just, yeah, so sometimes I think putting yourself in those big threads of conversations, and it went on for months and months, and it was all like completely misunderstood, and I was just like, geez, and I ended up just deleting my comment to stop it, because this thing was just going to go on and on and on. And all I did was give some like a little perspective that reality TV shows are edited. You can't make a judgment on someone just by watching them. And so yeah, sometimes you have to get out of these threads if you get into something. It didn't lead to any new business. But Andrew, you've got your hand up. You have to unmute yourself though.
Hello, John. So what is your, when you say short postings, how short is short for you? How have you posted something that has been really short and you think, wow, that's just been so well crafted. I feel so good about that because I've only used this number of words.
There's an old marketing adage I learned years ago, Angie, and it's that the market does not lie. I've had posts that I thought were the best post I've ever written, and I had very little exposure, very few likes and very few comments, and I got over it. I had to mentally get over it. And sometimes I'll do a post because I know how to write pretty fast. I'll do a post that might take me 15 minutes to write a post, and I say, well, that wasn't my best effort, and it'll take off. You just never know. And but more direct to your question, something else, when I've done those what I consider to be great posts, I may come back a month or 2 or 3 later, redo the title, and try it, give it another shot.
Yeah. And that form of recycling of creative content and giving it another raincoat covering, or you know, just thinking about a really nice different color hat, you know, you're thinking about Gareth, you know, that's that.
Never, it shall always be purple.
Hey, but that purple fedora, that's the thing that I think that's what we've got to all learn about, which is
being the brand.
That this is just that life is so busier than normal than it has been. It requires instantaneous reading, and that there is this thing that people sometimes actually want to see it all again because they've lost it, they can't find it. Now you're looking to find that link. We all have our information in so many different places, and that connectivity of how we find stuff, I think, is very complex.
You bring a good.
I couldn't agree with you more strongly. I had a very satisfactory conversation this morning with somebody who contacted me through LinkedIn that I'd last spoken to, well, 3 months ago, and it was basically, "Are you that purple hat guy?" Very happy.
You know, Angie, you bring up a good point, though. Probably the biggest mistake I see with people posting on LinkedIn is that they do not have a headline. They just start with their post. And think about reading a newspaper. How would you know which articles to read if all the articles did not have headlines? Headlines are, in my opinion, critical with your posts on LinkedIn.
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you very much. And where are you exactly? Because I can see this beautiful room you've got, all right? And you look very suave and sophisticated. You just look like you're with life. What part of the world are you in?
Just outside of Columbus, Ohio, in Dublin.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know where you are. That's very good to know. That's fair. I had a pen pal there when I was 7 years old for years and years and years. Never met her. Just had these letters that come through on airmail paper from Ohio.
Oh.
Yeah. Those were the days.
I miss that. I used to have pen pals too. I miss that.
John, you said a minute ago that sometimes you post a post and it doesn't get many views, it doesn't get da-da-da-da. Do you put the not very many views down to the content not being good, or the time of day that you posted it being the variable there?
I haven't been able to figure that out yet, Naomi. Seriously. It just, sometimes it's the luck of the draw. I don't know, but what a better way to say it. Not every post that I do has 3,000 views. I had one in and around Christmas that had 500, which is really low for me. And I was working with my system, and it just, next, just got to move on.
And also, could I just say, Naomi, that there is the psychology around it. You know, the psychology that says that if a charity has got the same first letter, beginning of the first letter as your name, so Angela, age concern, you're more likely to support them than not. So there will be elements that are the unknown because we are human beings, and also we are mass animals. If we see lots of response, we are sometimes like sheep. We want to say something because lots of other people have said something. So you must get your mass that really starts. There must be a point when suddenly it will get so much bigger for you. It must be a point where we're all wanting to add content, say something.
I think the other thing is that you have to scan read something to know you don't want to read it. And so therefore, a lot of the time we can read something. So the view actually had a good read. They read it, but they didn't trigger anything in that moment to go, oh, I want to like that, or I want to comment on that. Or there's other variables around of things that they're thinking, what they're doing, that it just doesn't lead to an action. But that doesn't mean to say that it hasn't sunk in, and that repeated sinking in. And this is one of the things I say to people as well. I know somebody that just keeps changing what he's talking about. 1 minute it's this subject, then it's this subject, then it's this subject. And it's very much like the purple fedora we just mentioned with Gareth there, is that association to his purple fedora that we know who he is, like that just works. And then when we stick with our topic and we're always posting on our topic, that topic sticks to us. Whereas if we're going from one career to another career, which this person is doing, and when he goes into that other career, he posts lots of content and decides to become a thought leader on it, and then a year later he's doing something else, you end up not knowing what that person's about. So when it comes down to consistency, often it really is about consistency with your message. Even if you're only posting once a month or twice a month, it's the consistency in your message as well. Because over time, the more consistent you are with that, the more people associate you with that, but also trust and credibility, because you're not shifting and changing all the time. So often I might see a piece of content and I think it's good, but I wouldn't post it because it would confuse people as to what I'm about and who I'm, what I stand for. So that's another thing to be aware of as well.
May I say I have to go, but I wanted to thank Naomi. Thank you very much for putting this on. It's been very good. And John, excellent. Your words have resonated strongly with me.
Good. Glad you came this morning.
Thank you,
Or
sir.
this afternoon.
Well, yes, time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly, sir.
So I have a question for us all. We're going to finish up now, but we've all attended today. We've all put time into hearing about this topic. So what is the 1% change you can make in your actions in the next month that would re-steer the ship and get you closer to where you're going to go? What one action could you take this month to be different on LinkedIn and get results? If you want to put it in the chat box. So that might be posting once a week when you don't post at all, twice a week, doing a content plan and following that. It might be connecting with people who viewed my profile, all of those different actions. If you just built in one habit in the next 30 days, what would you go for? Regularity, says Gareth.
I wrote regularity.
And I'm completing my content plan this Sunday. Yeah, great, Rachel. Looking at my SSS, I need to increase the engagement. Okay, engagement and Angela's content plan. On that, I just want to share something that happened is working for me. You know, when you do a really nice graphic on Canva and you do a nice piece of content that goes with it, keeping it all together or just knowing what I did previously and keeping that record, what I've actually now done is I've put all of those graphics, which are all the shape and size, I've put them all into the same folder in Canva. When I say folder, I don't mean folder, I mean same file, so that I've got 56 graphics I could choose on. When I have an idea, I open up a new blank page, and then I go to the notes and I put what the idea is in it. Once I always write my status updates in Canva in the notes section. I copy it from Canva and then I put it into LinkedIn. So now I've got the graphic and I've got the content together in the same place. And if I change it once I post it, I'll post it back again. So Canva is keeping it all for me. The only issue with it, which I must find a way of writing to Canva about, is the notes section only allows you 2,000 characters, where LinkedIn allows you 3,000. And so if they could increase that for us, it'd be perfect. But for me, that's a perfect way of filing it, because I'm getting the download that I can in the right quality graphic, and I've got the text in the same place. I know exactly what it is. And probably you could get a link for that one graphic as well, and then put it in a spreadsheet if you wanted to do what John does in terms of his tracking. So it's an easy way of keeping the graphic stored and your content stored together. On that note, I just saw what time it was. Bye, Gareth.
Bye bye all.
So the next, what we're going to do is we're just